So Barcelona, Marcus Rashford, like Fabrizio announced, is here we go. We all know he's completed his medicals and he's set to be officially announced by Barcelona. Now today I'm just going to be talking about Marcus Rashford, how he's going to fit into the team, and which player will benefit from Marcus Rashford, and which kind of system Hansi Flick will use to get the best out of Marcus Rashford, and also the best out of the entire team as well. So Marcus Rashford to Barcelona, it's here we go. And if you give me the permission to carry on, I'd like to talk about.
Over to you, Jolati. Carry on and let's go.
Okay, so I've already said this. Here we go, Marcus Rashford to Barcelona, right? So we all know that Barcelona were chasing a number of wingers, right? And these wingers, it's included the likes of Nico Williams. We had the Liverpool winger Luis Diaz as well. Personally, I also wanted Bradley Barcola from PSG, but it seemed Deco had other plans. Nico Williams also had other plans, same as Athletic Bilbao. So we'll be talking about this. We have this quartet coming to Barcelona. We are hoping that we can play all four in the starting lineup, where we can have Marcus Rashford deployed as a left winger, Lamine Yamal deployed as a right winger, Raphinha deployed as an attacking midfielder or as a number 10. Then our very own striker, Robert Lewandowski. Okay, so quickly I'll move into what I've said. We are going to be talking about the tactics, right? So the first image here, before we talk about anything, right, I'd like to explain how Barcelona play according to Hansi Flick. I'll just go through how Hansi Flick has been playing in the Barcelona team. So Barcelona sets up naturally in a 4-2-3-1 formation, right? In a 4-2-3-1 formation. But there are some changes when the build-up begins. Here is a typical example of how a Barcelona team looks like in attack, right? So there's 3 players at the back. There's 2 holding midfielders. Then there's 5 attackers. The reason for this 5 attackers being there is that Hansi Flick wants to push the opponents back into their own half. He wants to squeeze them into their own half, so that when they are building up, he also likes to build up patiently. So when they are building up, they don't get enough pressure on them, and they also make sure that he has enough vertical players up front, so he can play quick and direct passes into the opponent's half. Then they can head them. So this is how it looks like for a typical Barcelona team. Here we have Pedri here, we have Frenkie de Jong here. There's another defender here who is not inside here. So when they are attacking, Frenkie de Jong tends to stay back. Then Pedri will join the attack. We have Lamine Yamal stretching the opponent's defense. We have the left fullback. In some cases will be Gerard Martin or Alejandro Balde stretching out the opponent's defense. Then the 3 forwards, Robert Lewandowski leading the line, supported by either Raphinha or Dani Olmo. This is how Hansi Flick decides to set up his team with quick and direct passes to penetrate the opponent's defense and then to get his goal quickly. Okay, so I've made mention of this, right? Yes. Let's look at Marcus Rashford coming to Barcelona. I'm going to tell you why we need Marcus Rashford and how he's going to help us. Right. So let's look at this. So this is the Barcelona setup. This is the Barcelona setup. Last season we had Raphinha over here, and then we had either Fermin Lopez or Dani Olmo. We had Dani Olmo. Yes, so we had Dani Olmo here playing the attacking midfield. Then Frenkie de Jong and Pedri being the pivots, right? So it was a 4-2-3-1 formation. Pau Kubasi and Inigo Martinez. I would like to change this as well, where Pau Kubasi played on this side and then Inigo was on the other side. Yeah. So this is how the Barcelona team looked like. And I also bring Koundé here. Koundé.
Good.
So this is how the Barcelona team looked like. A 4-2-3-1 formation.
Yeah.
Like I said, when they are in attack, Raphinha will join the midfield.
It's not moving.
Okay, I'll explain. You understand? There are images that I'll be displaying that you get to understand it better. You get to appreciate it. So what I'm saying is that Raphinha was playing as the left winger, but tactically he was playing in the central areas as well. Whenever we are operating in the essentially when we are attacking, because it becomes 5 players up front. So Raphinha will join Lewandowski and Dani Olmo, which is the attacking midfielder. Then Alejandro Balde will run up here to cover the flanks. Then we have Koundé combining with these 2 pivots over here, and to allow either Frankie de Jong or Pedri to move up. So it becomes a 3-2-5 formation, right? So Marcus Rashford coming to Barcelona. He's coming to replace Raphinha as the left winger. Why should he replace Raphinha as the left winger? That's what I'm going to tell you now.
Wouldn't that be suicidal? Because Raphinha at the left wing has been one of Barcelona's best players. In shifting him out of a position where he's thrived, aren't you weakening your team? You are trying to fix something that is not broken. Isn't that what it is?
Okay. Understand you, Kosi. Understand you very, very well. So look at this image, right? Look at this image. The point is well made. Look at this image, right? On the right flank, we have a left-footed Lamine Yamal on the right flank, right? Supported by a right fullback over here. Then on the left flank, we have here a left-footed player. In some cases, it's supposed to be Alejandro Balde, who is the left back, right? And then you have Raphinha, who is also left-footed. Now tell me, which part of this play, on the left side or the right side, is more balanced or will cause more danger? Which part will cause more danger?
I mean, you can analyze it that way, right? Which is spot on.
Yes.
But then again, you look at the effectiveness of the player.
Yes.
Raphinha. Is he going to be equally effective if you move him into the middle and maybe put a Dani Olmo on the bench? Or perhaps he'll be better there. Rashford, his skill set. Has he got what it takes to do what Raphinha was doing, which is delivering crosses and getting the goals, etc.? I mean, so we want to look at all of that as well.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I'm trying to explain to you. So, you see, my point is that when you have left-footed player on the left flank, right, it's almost as if you are playing him as a wing back. You can have Alejandro Balde doing that same job Raphinha was supposed to do here. Now you can argue that Raphinha was playing as a central player, right? But the job of Raphinha here was to move into the house pieces, to move over here. So imagine a situation where Lamine Yamal switches the play to Raphinha. What do you think Raphinha would do? Raphinha has no choice than to try to shoot from here or run to this side, make a cross. It becomes very, very predictable. You understand? When you are playing a low block, Raphinha, most of his goals he scored last season were played into spaces. He made runs into spaces where he got there. He didn't have to do enough dribbling. He only had one player. Then he do 1v1 situations with the player, right? So imagine the ball comes to Raphinha. The ball did come to Raphinha though. I'll show you. And you see what he did. The ball did come to Raphinha. And look at Raphinha. Raphinha shot the ball. And the goalkeeper made the save. Now, if Rashford was here, the players are not interested in this guy because they know that what he will do is a cross. Raphinha will either shoot from here or make a little cross to these players who are not already inside the box. So it becomes very, very predictable. So imagine a right-footed player over here. Now, these players will tend to turn their attention to either, they'll be in a dilemma, right? Either to mark the left fullback or to mark Rashford because both are danger. Because football, like I always say, it's a time and space relationship, right? So if you don't cover your space in time, then you become wanting. Because if Rashford has the ball here, he has 2 choices. Either to shoot the ball or to pass to Inigo Martinez, who is over here, and either way it creates spaces. The spaces that Raphinha will create here is limited. You understand? Because if Rashford can shoot from here, the players will try to align themselves to block the shot over here, creating space for Inigo Martinez. But if Rashford decides to go outside, it will cause the defenders' attention to move on to him, then it will create space for Inigo Martinez to make an inverted run. This is everything I'm going to be talking about. It's what I'm going to. It's dynamism. Rashford is going to bring dynamism, and it's not as if what Raphinha has been doing, Rashford cannot do it. He's going to do it and add a little bit more. And I'll come to the point where he said, if we move Raphinha into the central areas, can he perform? Yes, he will perform. I'll mention that very soon. Okay, so these images, right? Look at Raphinha here. Operating in the house pieces. Then we would have in Gerard Martin or Alejandro Balde over here. Look, Raphinha will make the run and then will receive the ball from Pedri. Are you telling me that if Rashford was here in this situation, he can't make the run for Pedri to give him the pass? He will do the same thing. But there's a difference in what Rashford will bring and then what Raphinha will bring. Raphinha's style is one-dimensional. It's very one-dimensional. So if Rashford was in this situation, now I made mention that there are some players that this system will favor. And this particular player is Alejandro Balde. Throughout the season, throughout last season, Alejandro Balde has been playing sort of the left winger for Barcelona. It hasn't been Raphinha. Raphinha has never been the left winger for Barcelona. It has always been Alejandro Balde. And whenever we lose Alejandro Balde in the team, we tend to concede a lot of chances. We play below our usual level, right? So we only wait for Alejandro Balde to get into the team. I feel like Alejandro Balde missing out in some of the Champions League games cost us the Champions League itself. We could have won the Champions League if Alejandro Balde has stayed fit throughout the entire campaign, right? So I feel like Rashford, when Rashford comes, Rashford will allow Alejandro Balde to be more defensively resolute. He won't need to come all the way here as a left back. Mind you, he was still playing as a left back, not as a left wing back. As a left back to be taking care of the opponent's wing back, the opponent's full back. He can leave it to Rashford, who is very direct, and to create space for Alejandro Balde, Alejandro Balde we know, to be able to make the run to the bar line, play some crosses for Lewandowski. Last season, we didn't see lots of that. Alejandro Balde didn't get enough assists because of the way Hansi Flick deployed him and Raphinha over there, right? So if Rashford is over here, like I made mention that he has an option to shoot and he has an option to pass to Balde. So Balde will gain more freedom. He'll be able to show us the real Balde. And then because when Rashford will be hugging the flanks over here, then you have Raphinha also hugging the flanks on the right side. Alejandro Balde would have to come back and make inverted runs instead. And we all know from Mikel Arteta and also Pep Guardiola that when your fullbacks make inverted runs instead of overlapping, they tend to be able to move back whenever you are the defending side. They tend to be able to move back quickly. So it's an advantage for us. I'm not saying Balde should only make inverted runs, but he should learn from what Koundé has been doing. Lamine Yamal helps Koundé to express himself. He's able to invert, he's able to overlap. You understand? So if this same situation is happening over here, although it will be a little bit different because Lamine Yamal loves to hug the touchline, Rashford is very direct and also that's what Raphinha does. He loves to run in behind. He can also join in with the striker, which is Robert Lewandowski, to create 1-2 situations, and then he can get shots on goal because we all know Rashford likes to shoot a lot of balls, right? So you said that how can Raphinha thrive in the central areas? How can Raphinha thrive in the central areas? Before that, this was a game in 2023. This is a right-footed Ansu Fati. And this is Alejandro Balde. So these are the kind of situations we want to be creating with Marcus Rashford. It will bring dynamism. It will give us options, right? So when the right-footed player, and bear in mind, this resulted in a goal. Ansu Fati scored from here. But if it was Raphinha would have to cross. So if if it was Alejandro Balde will also have to cross. So you have two players with the same mentality on that flanks, on that area. Raphinha will cross, Alejandro Balde will cross. So it means that every time we are in a low block, they both have to cross. Why not have a player, two players where one has to cross and one has to score a goal? You get it? And Rashford can also cross. It's not as if wingers should not cross. Lamine Yamal thrives on crossing from that area. Lamine Yamal has had over 20 plus assists by crossing from the flanks, because now in modern football, inverted crosses is working a lot. Inverted passes, and I'm advising the likes of Mohamed Kudus, if you are going to play the right wing for Tottenham, you need to learn how to make inverted crosses, because this space, the half space, like we always see, the half space is the most vulnerable part of a defense. So if you're able to cross there, you ask your players to flood the half space, there will be lots of goals. All our goals are from there. Whenever Lamine Yamal crosses, it's either Raphinha gets a shot on goal or he relays the pass to Dani Olmo or Robert Lewandowski. So when we have Marcus Rashford, it will happen like that. Marcus Rashford will give us inverted crosses. This guy, Alejandro Balde, will give us the outswing crosses. So it brings dynamism rather than having two players that will give you the same outswing crosses. You understand it now? Okay, so back to what I was going to say. You said Raphinha. Raphinha, how is Raphinha going to thrive in the central area where Dani Olmo is, right? So we know that Raphinha's style of play, he loves to press. Like Raphinha, when we are off the ball, he's our best defender up front, right? So why not bring him closer to the striker Lewandowski, who is losing his legs? Lewandowski last season was not able to press, so Hansi Flick asked him to press the opponent's defensive midfielder, allowing Raphinha and then Lamine Yamal to press the opponent's centre backs. So why not have Raphinha, who is our best defender, up front to start the pressing from the central area rather than moving from the wide area into the central area? You can start from up front. Then when we are defending, it can be a 4-2-2 formation. A 4-2-2 formation being that there are 4 players over here, 2 central midfielders, 2 wingers, and then there will be 2 forwards. More like a 4-2-2, but it's more central so that we can press effectively. So Raphinha will start the press. We know that Marcus Rashford is a very physical player. He's coming from a very physical league. He's very pacey, and there's a question mark about his defensive abilities. But I feel like when he's been instructed to do the right things, he'll come to the party. So Marcus Rashford can also press effectively. So we have to put Raphinha there for defensive purposes. Now coming into the attacking purposes, why should Raphinha play the central area ahead of Dani Olmo? If you look at the Europe's, there's a chart where players who have created the most chances in Europe, right? We have Dani Olmo, Michael Olise topping the charts, followed by Lamine Yamal. Unfortunately, Raphinha falls in 6th in all of Europe's top 5. Right, 6th is not a bad number for a player who was playing as a left winger. Although he was drifting inside, he was a left winger. He was 6th in big chances created. Now Raphinha also had total chances created in the league, in La Liga. Raphinha was able to create 91 chances, right? So imagine Raphinha in the central areas. Now, a coach that made us know that Raphinha can thrive in central areas was this guy, Marcelo Bielsa. Marcelo Bielsa, sometimes when he played a system where he had to play wing backs, he allowed Raphinha a free chance to be creating, right? To be creating. So Raphinha has proven to us that he can create a lot of chances. And we've seen it before. Before Hansi Flick came, we saw Xavi using him in the central areas, because he couldn't compete with Dembele on the right flank. So Xavi said, you come to the middle, you can do something. We won a game against Bayern Munich with Raphinha playing over there. We almost won a game against PSG. If not for the red card that Araujo conceded, we would have won the game with Raphinha playing as a central attacking midfielder. And to top it up, I want to say that the reason why a winger can comfortably play as a central attacking midfielder is because, unlike the wings, right, you have the sideline also being a second defender. you are being boxed inside. So that's why Johan Cruyff said, do not build up with a fullback. When you build up with a fullback, the opponent can box them in. The sideline is there. They can't escape. So when you have a winger over there in the central area, unlike the flanks, he has a whole circumference around him. He has a whole 360 degrees angle around him to move about. The players, let me tell you, although opponents want to penetrate through the central channel, which is here, the central channel. In football, we have the 5 channels, but the middle one is called the central channel, right? So although a lot of teams have realized that the central channel is the most vulnerable part, they are scared to jump in the central channel. Teams that usually want to press, they press you on the sideline. They try to box you in. So in the central channel, it's very, very protected, but players refuse to be able to jump to press players like Raphinha, who is a central attacking midfielder. So I feel like Raphinha playing there will be very, very comfortable, and you'll be given the freedom to operate as he wants to. Barcelona will thrive under this Hansi Flick system, and I feel Barcelona fans should be very, very happy for the signing of Marcus Rashford. He's going to do great things for us.
Okay, question for you from me.
Yes.
We know Marcus can also play as a number 9.
Yes.
From his days at United, he has played as number 9 several times. That is, for me, I always see him as number 9. In the absence of Lewandowski, what plans will you advocate for your coach? Because we've not seen you guys have an out-and-out number 9. We've seen Daniel Olmo play as a false 9. You guys have what's his name? Ferran Torres, who plays as number 9 sometimes. Rashford coming in, for me, I think gives you options at the number 9 position too. But he is not a fox in the box. He wants to drift to the left side and also on the right side and be like not a stagnant number 9. What's the plan going into next season? You have this Arsenal that can play as a left winger, also as number 9. Do you think your coach will also have a plan for him in that position?
Okay, so Marcus Rashford himself, previously in 2023, he made mention that he was very comfortable playing as a left winger because you are more inside the game compared to playing as a striker. But later on, I heard like a month ago that he's building confidence in the striking position. Now, Marcus Rashford is a very, like I mentioned, he's a very physical player. He's coming from a physical league, and he's very pacey. Although Barcelona do not plan to play him as a backup to Lewandowski because there's Ferran Torres over there, and there's also an idea of playing Daniel Olmo as a false 9. Marcus Rashford can also play as a striker sometimes, you understand? Because there will be situations where we need his pace as the striker. Lewandowski has tired legs. He cannot run as he used to. So Marcus Rashford, being there, he's also a kind of player that can start counter-attacks, you understand? He's not going to be the only player behind the counter-attacks, like Raphinha was behind the counter-attacks that Lamine Yamal initiated. Marcus Rashford can also create counter-attacks. He can also drop deep when he's playing as a striker, right? And there's this funny thing, right? Marcus Rashford has actually played over 200 games as a left winger and has played over 100 games as a striker. But when you look at the goals and assist conversion rate, he has more numbers when you are looking at the ratio, in terms of ratio, as a striker, more than he has as a winger, because he has played way too many games as a left winger and has not gotten goals or assists. But when he's playing as a striker, he has the numbers to back it. So it's very, very possible that Marcus Rashford will sometimes play over there. But according to our coach Hansi Flick, he wants him to come and play as the left winger because we are chasing the left winger in Nico Williams, we didn't get him. Luis Diaz, we didn't get him. So this guy Hansi Flick has shown us that he needs a left-footed player to play on there, because at Bayern Munich he wants to replicate the same thing he did at Bayern Munich, right? The likes of Serge Gnabry and Kingsley Coman. They also had Felipe Coutinho playing that same position. So I feel like although he can play as a striker, he needs to play